Welcome back, students, to our continuing discussion about the space Rn. Today we are first going to discuss Cauchy-Schwartz inequality. You might ask me why I am at all discussing this Cauchy-Schwartz inequality, which you might have studied even in linear algebra. The idea of discussing Cauchy-Schwartz inequality is to actually prove this triangle inequality, which is a property of the norm on Rn, the Euclidean norm. Now this triangle inequality is the only part of these properties of the norm which cannot be so easily shown from the definition. So if I can't show it from the definition, there must be other ways to do certain things. Cauchy-Schwartz inequality is the path by which we can move. So Cauchy-Schwartz inequality says that if you take any two vectors in Rn, then take the inner product, then the absolute value of the inner product is less than the product of their individual Euclidean norms. So if x and y are two vectors in Rn, then the absolute value of the inner product of xy is less than equal to norm of x into norm of y. Here, of course, there's less than equal to, not strictly less than. The equality would always hold when x is equal to some scalar multiple of y, which you can put and just have a check following the rules of inner product and the norm. So let us see how could we prove Cauchy-Schwartz inequality. That if I observe that if I put here either x equal to 0 or y equal to 0 or both 0, doesn't matter, I would have the inequality holding with equality because it will be 0 on both sides. If not, suppose these results, when these x and y are not 0, we will not assume any vectors to be 0. Then for any lambda in R, whatever you take, construct the vector lambda x plus y and take the square of the norm, length square, which is anyway greater than equal to 0. Length cannot be less than 0. By the definition, norm of lambda x plus y whole square, norm whole square, is by definition the inner product of lambda x plus y into lambda x plus y. Now if you go by the rules of inner product, you will finally obtain this result, and I would expect students to actually sit down and actually compute this inner product step by step in order for them to really apply the rules of inner product. So once you do that, so lambda square norm x square is a square term, and I want to do certain rearrangements. So what I do is I take this term xy divided by norm x. So if I have norm x here and divide by norm x, xy by norm x becomes a term of 2ab. So you have lambda norm x, xy divided by norm x, because norm x is non-zero. So now what you do, you just add a square of x inner product y by norm x square and subtract it. This is the manipulation. So once you have done this, this is true for any x and y that you choose in Rn. So once you would have done this, I'll choose lambda. Lambda is any lambda in R, so it doesn't matter what lambda you choose. So in particular, I'll choose minus xy by norm x square. So if I put here lambda is minus inner product xy by norm x square, so I'll have here I will have in this place of lambda norm x would become minus of inner product of xy by norm x. So this factor and this factor would cancel and give me a 0. Just check it out yourself. So what I would have norm y square minus norm xy whole square divided by norm x square is greater than equal to 0. And once I have that, I'll immediately get xy norm inner product xy whole square is less than equal to norm x into norm y. Sometimes I am telling xy and sometimes I am telling inner product of xy. So when I am using an inner product, if I say xy all in xy of vectors, I am always meaning inner product or dot product. There cannot be any other ways to multiply them. There are some other multiplications also for vectors like cross product and all. We need not discuss them here at least. So what would happen? Inner product of xy whole square is less than equal to norm x square into norm y square, which means that the absolute value of norm xy, which could the norm xy, it could be positive or negative itself, is less than equal to norm x into norm y. This is very basic mathematics. So this is And I'm not going to check that x equal to lambda y, then the equality hold. That's up to you to check, which we are not doing here. And in the main PDF that I'll give you, which that thing would not be present there. Now let us see how can I prove the triangle inequality by applying the Cauchy-Schwartz inequality. So if you take norm x plus norm y whole square, if you take x plus y norm whole square, so you take the vector x plus y, take its norm and square it. So this means this is nothing but the inner product of x plus y with x plus y. And again applying the rules of inner product, I'll get this inequality. It looks as if like I have done some kind of a plus b whole square. You see, this is exactly kind of an a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square. AB actually means the inner product here as a multiplication. So from just extending your intuition and imagination, a lot of things that you know about real numbers or simple identities can be brought into these higher dimensional things. So a lot in mathematics can be done by certain leap in the imagination. So now what would happen here, once you have this, I can apply the Cauchy-Schwartz inequality. Because this inner product of xy is less than or equal to norm of x into norm of y. Once I do this, these are now all numbers, norm x, norm y. So this is nothing but norm x plus norm y whole square. And because norm x plus y and norm x plus norm y both are non-negative numbers, so if square of a non-negative number is less than square of another non-negative number, then the original non-negative number is less than the other non-negative number. So norm of x plus y is less than or equal to norm x plus norm y. So that proves the triangle inequality. So let's talk about the triangle inequality for the norm, infinity norm for example. Now what is the infinity norm? You know it's norm of x infinity. You take the vector x, you take the absolute value of all the components, and then take the maximum value of those absolute values. So if you take norm of x plus y infinity norm, then the individual components of x plus y is, suppose x has a component x1, x2, xn, y has a component y1, y2, yn, and the individual components, the components of x plus y are x1 plus y1 ... xn plus yn. Remember the original lecture-1c. Now, among these n absolute values or n non-negative real numbers, one of them is the largest, or maybe two of them is the largest, or four of them, doesn't matter, but one of them is definitely the largest, right? All of them could be the largest one, they have the same value, but one of them is definitely the largest, and let R be such one. So norm of x plus y in the infinity norm is equal to sum xr plus yr for some r which belongs to one of these indices 1 to n. Now you know from very basic real facts about real number that the absolute value of xr plus yr is less than or equal to mod xr, absolute value of xr plus absolute value of yr. These are triangle inequality for the real numbers, which we have already proved. But because this absolute value is essentially nothing but the Euclidean norm in the space R, right? Absolute value is nothing but distance from zero vector or zero origin of the real line, which means it is nothing but the Euclidean distance or Euclidean norm in the space R. Now what is mod of xr? By definition it is less than infinity norm of x. And what is the absolute value of yr? It is by definition less than the infinity norm of y. And so you combine this, because this is equal to x plus y infinity. So then from this equation and this inequality, I will have this inequality that norm x plus y infinity is less than or equal to norm x infinity plus norm y infinity. So now let's end our discussion by giving you a geometric view of the inner product, a view you already know, and that is how you first learn about the dot product when you learned about vectors in your high school. So if x and y are two-dimensional vectors, and if the angle between them is theta, then the inner product or the dot product is usually defined as the absolute value of the vectors, the length of the vectors norm x into norm y into the cosine of the angle between them. But we have also discussed that the inner product xy is nothing but x1 y1 plus x2 y2 plus xn yn. So what I want to show that the inner product xy actually also equals to this. So this is same as writing x1 y1 plus x2 y2 plus xn yn. So let us see the deduction. So now consider two vectors. Now you might be thinking that why I am not putting pictures here. Putting pictures in LaTeX is slightly time taking, and as time keeps on running out. So I would give you another explanation class where I'll show you certain pictures and I'll show you that how these ideas come in. So you take any two vectors xy in Rn and theta with angle between them. And now consider z is equal to x minus y. So x minus y plus y is equal to x. So if you add the vector z with y, you get back the vector x. So if xy is a vector, then the xy are two vectors with an angle theta between them, and theta is strictly bigger than 0 or not equal to 0 or 180. Let me assume it for that time, just to give you a feeling that the angle is an acute angle. Then this x minus y, z equal to x minus y, is a, this is a triangle. I mean, it's a if you look at it from a geometric point of view, then the vectors x, y and z, they form, or x minus y, x, y and x minus y form the sides of a triangle. You can ask me what would happen if theta is 0, when angle theta is 0. Then of course, which means x and y are in the same direction and x equal to some mu times y, and you can just calculate the inner product, and cos theta would be, cos 0 would be 1, and so you can easily show that from the original definition that is nothing but norm x into norm y. So we'll not get into that. We'll take a theta which is acute just for simplicity of the explanation. Now, so once you have a triangle with sides which has length norm x, norm y and norm z, then by using the cosine law for triangles, you can show, obviously this is a well-known fact, you study in geometry or trigonometry, that norm z square, because theta, the side opposite to the angle theta is z, x minus y. So norm z square is equal to norm x square plus norm y square minus 2 norm x, norm y cos theta. But z equal to x minus y. So norm of z whole square is nothing but inner product of x minus y into x minus y. And when you expand that, you will get this. Norm x square plus norm y square minus 2 norm xy. So now if you look at these two equations, both are equal to norm z square. So if you equate them, these two cancels off, and you get norm of xy is equal to norm x into norm y into cos theta, and that's it. So next class we'll talk about sequences, but before that I'll add an explanation class explaining to you with some diagrams what does this mean. Okay, so that I'll upload tomorrow. Thank you very much, and do carefully study what has been discussed here. Thank you.